Hey you guys, it is the 6th installment of Vintage Vember, and today it's a collaboration with my good friend Sarah from Learning So Much. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about this pattern, so if that's some content you would like to see, please continue to watch. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Rochelle from Rochelle.Handmade.Designs, and in this video I am going to be showing you guys what I created using Simplicity 8447. I did the pants, which is view A on this pattern. I'll talk about the top a little bit, but there's a sew along for this one. But if you are new to the channel, welcome. Hello, Ciao, Guten, Aloha, Hola, Konnichiwa, Gwaan, Sabonani, Shalom, Bonjour, Terve. If you are returning, you guys know what to do. Go get your quick snack, something to drink. Come on back so we can go ahead and get into this video. So without further ado, and to keep this short, sweet, to the point, but give you all the deets, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so for this one, you guys, listen, there was no way that I was not going to create this pattern. I know you guys are going to say, Rochelle, everyone have done this pattern. Well, I'm not everybody. No, I'm just joking. Yes, a lot of individuals in the sewing community that sews vintage patterns, they have done this pattern. However, when I was thinking of some pants to do, I was like, I need vintage pants. So there's so many patterns I could have chose, but I was going for something with minimal amount of pieces, because when you're doing 7 different collaborations, you need something that's simple to do, or I should say in terms of time, simple to do, time, you know, fits your time slot, and something that has minimal amount of pieces. So that's what I was going for. I didn't want anything that had more than 7 pattern pieces. So far I've been doing pretty good. All right. So for this pattern, it's Simplicity 8447, which is this pattern right here. I'm going to put it up on the screen so you're able to see it. But let's go ahead and get into the pattern description. So the pattern description for this pattern, now I'm going to give my own because Simplicity was not doing your girl right. But this is a 1940s vintage pattern that they pulled from the Vintage Vault in honor of Rosie the Riveter. If you don't know who she is, look it up on Google. You'll know who she is, 1940s, whatever. So you gotta remember, back in the 1940s was World War I, which was 1944. So therefore, a lot of the things that you've seen in the 1940s was a lot of overalls, a lot of pants, not a lot of, you know, fancy dresses or anything like that. But I believe 1940s is when women started wearing pants. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I think that's when a lot of the women in that era started wearing pants, right? Now, for this pattern, view A features a pair of pants. View B is the overall. View C is a blouse with a hood. And then view D is the blouse without the hood. All right. Now, what I created was view A, just the pants. I didn't want overalls or anything because I wouldn't be able to wear them to work. And you know, I still got to be able to wear things to work. All right. So I created view A for this pattern. Let's go ahead and talk about the sewing skill level. So for this pattern, the sewing skill level is rated as average. Do I feel this pattern is average? Absolutely. Actually, I would say it's easy to sew. It is easy to sew, but the reason why I feel that it is average is because you will have a front facing, an underlap you got to do, and then you also have to sew on buttons on the left side of your pants. Now, one thing I will also mention for this is this pattern also features darts. You're going to have front darts and back darts, and it has a 3-inch cuff hem as well for this pattern. Now, one feature that I do like about this pattern is the fact that it has buttons on the side instead of a zipper. Now, I'll talk about that here in a second when we get to, you know, likes and dislikes here in a second when I talk about the buttons on the side. All right. let's talk about the fabrics that I use. Well, before I talk about fabric, let's talk about notions used. So for this pattern, the only notion that I used was 4 5/8 inch buttons, and I used navy blue from my stash. But that's all you need outside of thread. Let's make sure. Yes, you just need buttons outside of thread. 4 5/8 inch buttons and some thread. That's it. That's what we have. All right. Now let's talk about fabric used. So for the fabric for this, the pants. Now, before I get into the pants, let's talk about the top right quick. The top, there's a whole sew along for this pattern. It's Simplicity 9467. I did this top like last year, I believe, in 2022 sometime. I did a complete sew along for it. So what I will do is I'll link to the sew along in the description box below, as well as on the end screen for this top. But we're not doing a pattern review for this top because there's already one that's already done and a complete sew along for this pattern. Now, back to the pants. So in terms of fabric used for the pants, I'm going to put the name of the fabric up on the screen as well as in the description box below. It is from Joann's. Both fabrics are from Joann's as well. So I just felt like instead of doing a white button-down shirt, I wanted to put a little bit of color to make it pop, and that's why I pulled out this top. All right, let's go ahead and talk about pattern pieces. So for the pattern pieces, it's 5 pattern pieces. So you have your front, your back, your front facing, your waistband, your underlap. That's it. 5 pattern pieces. Front, back, front facing, your underlap, and then your waistband. Those are 5 pattern pieces that you will need in order to construct these pants. However, I did not put the pocket and the pocket band on it. If you want that feature on the front of your pocket, you will need 7 pattern pieces. But I did not want the pocket or the pocket band on my pants, so therefore I omitted it and only used 5 pattern pieces. Let's talk about pattern sizing. So for the pattern sizing, it comes in 2 envelopes, I believe. It's 6 to 14 and then 14 to 24, or 6 to 14 and 16 to 24. The size that I cut on this pattern is a size 18 all the way down, waistband, and the pants. I cut a size 18 completely. Now, I did have to, let's talk about modifications. In terms of modifications, I didn't necessarily make any modifications outside of sizing it up at the hips. I did size up at the hip at 1/4 of an inch at the hips. So I didn't make any adjustments to the waistband. I didn't make any adjustments to the waist. I just sized it up at the hip using my hip curved ruler. Now, even though I sized it up at 1/4 of an inch, which gave me an extra inch, front and back pattern pieces, right? I didn't really need to because it gave me that extra inch of room and ease. But I really didn't need to. So really I have about 1.5 inches of room now, which is perfect. I still love them. And it came out amazing. I'm not squeezing in the pants or anything like that. So yes, I do love them. Let's talk about, did it look like the photos or the drawing on the pattern envelope? In my case, yes. Now, one thing that I did with these pants is I actually put a crease in the pants. Only because back then, everything had a crease. Your tops had creases in it. Your pants had creases in it. Everything had a crease. So everything was ironed, fried, dyed, and laid to the side, ironed to the starch, to the gods with starch, right? If you guys know what Stay Flow is, everything had Stay Flow or cleaner's press. Heavy starch, okay? So I went ahead and did that to this. Now, you guys know that I used to be military, so I used to use a whole can of Aquanet on my BDUs, okay? So I still know how to press. I still know how to do all those things. But for the most part, we're going to take that bad boy to the cleaners if we need to. But you guys know my cleaner story, so we're not going to go there with cleaners. I am not that lazy, and I just went ahead and pressed my pants. All right, let's talk. But yes, they do look like the photos or the drawings on the pattern envelope. Let's talk about instructions. Are the instructions easy to follow? Yes, they are. I did not get tripped up at all with the instructions. The instructions are written very well for the pants. Okay, I did the pants, so They are written very well for the pants. All right. Let's talk about likes and dislikes. Let's start with dislikes first. So I do not have any dislikes whatsoever for these pants. There was 0 dislikes. Let's talk about likes. So, well, it's not necessarily a dislike, but I would have preferred to have pockets. But because the placket for the buttons is on one side, who wants to put a pocket on one side of the pants? I don't, so I left them off. But it would have been nice to have pockets on your pants outside of those, the pocket band and the pocket on the front. I didn't like that detail. I would have liked inseam pockets, but it's okay. Now, let's go over to likes. I do like the fact that it has a button on the side instead of a zipper. That is different because I do not have a pair of pants where we have buttons on the side instead of the front. So this is the first, and I mean really love these pants. All right. Let's talk about first time experiences. Do I have any first time experience? Yes. First time experience is doing a pair of pants with the button placket, whatever, on the side. I like that detail. Now, one thing that I will say is it was a little different to have a front facing and a underlap. So you will have a front facing that you will attach to the front being where you have your buttonholes marked. Make sure you mark your buttonholes on the left side of your pants when wearing it. If you're a woman, not on the right side. If you're a man making this pattern, make it on the right side instead of the left side. You get it. All right. But your underlap goes on the back portion of your pants. Make sure you mark the front and the back pattern piece. Pattern piece number 1 is the front. Pattern piece number 2 is the back. Just giving you a tip. Don't mess up. All right. Let's talk about what I sew this pattern again. Yes. And I want to make this at least 2 more times in different colors. Not a black. I want to make it in an olive green. I think that would be cute. And I want to make it in like a tangerine orange style color, just to have some colorful pants, or maybe a purple or something like that, like a really dark, deep plum purple. I think that would be cute too. But yes, I do have plans to make this pattern at least 2 more times. And I will say that this pant pattern fits the bill. It took me 2 hours, start to finish, including cutting the pattern. And I made these on Sunday afternoon. I went to the grocery store, got some groceries, came back, cut, went to work, finished it in 2 hours before making dinner. It's that good. All right. But you guys know your girl sews pretty fast, so I would normally not do that, but I was fighting with other patterns in my stash on which one to do. All right. So that's that. Let's talk about what I recommend this pattern to others. Yes, I'm going to definitely recommend the pants on this pattern. I hear a lot of other individuals say that the blouse is good as well. There are, I think, 1 or 2 sew-alongs on the channel, not on my channel, but I believe it's Kittenish Behavior. She has a sew-along for the blouse. I'm not sure about the pants, but search YouTube because I know the pants and the blouse have been done, and it's a sew-along for that as well. All right, let's talk about my pattern rating. So my pattern rating for this pattern is a 5 out of 5. I love the pants. I'm talking about the pants. I don't know about the blouse because I have not done the blouse. But for the pants, it's a 5 out of 5 for this pattern. Well, that's it for this sit-down pattern review of what I created, Simplicity 8447. I hope you enjoyed. And since you made it this far, do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe button. Also, smash that notification bell so you are notified every time your girl uploads a new video. Also, please don't forget to go over to Instagram to Sarah from Learning So Much. I will go ahead and put her links in the description box below. Go over to her website and also check out Instagram to see what she created as part of #VintageVember Sewing. Also, I want to say 2 more things. The pants is also put into Martika from Martika J Makes Sewing Challenge for the month of November. which is hashtag Let's Sew Blue 2023. It's to sew anything blue to bring awareness to diabetes. So you have until November 30th to participate in Martika from Martika J Makes Challenge for hashtag Let's Sew Blue to bring awareness to type 1 and type 2 diabetes. This is the second make that I have made as part of her challenge. Also, one last thing two things I'm going to tell you. Also, for this challenge, hashtag Sew Vintage Vember Sewing. You have until November 30th, okay? Your local time, 11:59. So if you are in Eastern Time, 11:59 Eastern Standard Time. If you're in Central, same thing. If you post December 1st, it will not count as part of hashtag Vintage Vember Sewing, okay? So it's in your local time. Don't post it in California time when your local time is Eastern because it will not count, all right? Also, make sure you sew something from 1920s to 1970s that spans over a course of 50 years. Do not sew anything kids. You can, but it's not going to count. Do not sew any kids patterns, aprons, any type of home decor, or doggy clothes or doll clothes. It has to be a garment with you or someone in it. You do not have to show your face. That is completely fine. It just needs to be a garment that someone is wearing and a photo is taken. Make sure you tag me in your photos and use the hashtag Vintage Vember Sewing. I will also wrap this thing up next week where I share the last person as part of this Vintage Vember Sewing tour that I have done. And the last person is, of course, Talisha from Creativity by T. We will be collaborating on Sunday, November the 26th, so stay tuned for that as well. All right, I talked enough. That's it. I think that's it for this video. I hope you enjoy. Until next time, keep sewing.